Hello, Bloodstains, at the season 10, 9, not 10, 9, season 9 precap. So, here are the teams that have entered, and we're going to start from here and go this way. We have Roland Rat. Ah, they're season champions, they're returning. We're going to see them sporadically coming back because Skaven can be a lot of fun to play. And so obviously taking some attrition on the gutter runners, which is about right. They don't live forever, unfortunately. They do die. Uh, so they're a bit underleveled at the moment, but they got hard to level up. So we've got blodging. We have a Saka who's opted for leap rather than something like Dauntless or Tackle, but having spoken to Rob Top, he's quite happy with that. He thinks the 2 dice uphills should be alright. Blood sidestep. One more star play to go. I'd probably, if it didn't get anything good, sort of sack and then bring back. I do it after the first skill when I'm trying to level up gut runners and skinks because they're so easy to level up that I want to know if they get a plus movement straight away because then I can just work on getting them to be a one turner within 3 skills. But each to their own. Angry Joe, we all know. No more level ups for him because he's a legend, and we have the usual. We know about this bit. He's got a double, I think, for jump up. Obviously, gets him off the ground quicker from the piling on. Then opted for tackle, which makes him even scarier. Killer and Juggernaut. I'm not sure what the thinking is taking Juggernaut. I'm sure from Top hears this, he might put in a comment why he thought for Juggernaut. I guess he gets quite hard on the last skill because he's pretty much got everything he needs anyway. So it was probably because Juggernaut pairs well with Frenzy, but I guess it's if you'd rather have a push than a both down against another player or block. But I'd be interested to see what the thinking was. He's second Storm Vermin. He's taking guard because obviously it's quite difficult to get guard on a Skaven team. They've got to roll a double to get it, except for the Storm Vermin, you can get it on a normal. He's got a Mighty Blow. I mean, he might just do the usual. Might take tackle next. Might give him piling on eventually as well. Although with guard, he might not give him piling on. Might give him something like stand firm. We shall see. And the rats, inconsequential. They're all going to die. A wrestle and a wrestle tackle lines. It's probably, well, let's have a look. Let's miss next game on the dirty player. And of course, one's trying to double for guard, but essentially, it's a shame. I mean, we've all had awesome. Those of us that play Skaven have all had really good linemen at one point, but they just die. You put them on the line. You're never going to put any of these on the line to take first hits. You only put them on the line when you're getting the hits. So at least 3 of these, he'll go on the line. These 2 might go on the line, and you might save him back. But if one of these gets hurt, the other side scores a touchdown, then on the line he goes. Okay. And we have Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Liam's team. So we've got Boris Johnson, we all know and love. He's actually getting close to becoming a legend now. Uh, he's a strength up, blodge, sidestep, obviously to keep him off the getting surfed when he does the surf. If he's on the line of, not the line of scrimmage, the sideline. And tackle, Nigel Farage. Bit more of a ball carrier build. He's blodged, sidestep because he might still just obviously get surfs. Sure hands. Tackle, of course, the Wolves don't have strength access, it's general and agility. So he's probably was hoping for an edge up or something like that, but there's no guarantees. Then we have the flesh golems, so this team's actually been a bit more together lately, where they're not actually taking a whole load of casualties anymore. You see he's totally given up on the ghouls, which is fine. Necro teams occasionally end up doing that. Originally you think, oh, I'll take ghouls as a ball carrier, free the werewolves up for hitting, and then all the ghouls just get killed because they don't have regen. And obviously strength 5 flesh golem is really good. He's got might blow, dodge. I don't know what he'd do for his last skill, probably tackle. Would make some sense, wouldn't it? You know. He's got stable, which is the flesh, obviously. Yep, block, guard, and tackle. So that's good. He's got a bit of guard in there to yeah, just winning the guard wars that are inevitably coming. Michael Gove, the white. Obviously more guard, tackle, mighty blow. Rishi Sunak, you can tell when this team was made a while ago. Blodge, and tackle. So I'll probably get mighty blow next, I'd imagine. He took the double, but I think this guy came when the team was quite developed and he lost to Ghoul, so yeah, taking the blodges on the white, the first skill up. You might not do it when they're really low level, but it's fine when the team's more developed. NHS, guard, got double on guard, block and tackle, so not a bad zombie actually, as far as zombies go. And another one that rolled a double for guard, so block, so he's got quite some solid guard for a necro team going on there, which is great. But it's a bit like the Skavens, you know, he's going to put them on the line eventually and they're going to die, although he does have 3 unleveled up ones that he can do. Dog Chow was one of mine, Furlough is one of his, and that looks like it probably came from Willem at some point, because Willem does name his players, but he names these players in a law-friendly way, so it looks like he hasn't named these players, which is fine, at least he names them, you know. Then we have the snobs. So super fast splits up. He's got blodge, mighty blow, tackle, and jump up. Yeah, I'm not well, again, I think it's just down to the basic fact that elves only get strengths on a double. So you got a double for mighty blow, which was probably the right choice. And then you get to a point where you're like, I don't know really what else to give him. Jump up's fine. You know, gets him up quicker. Then we have... Oh, that might be one of Chris's, actually, looking at Chris's names. Because I don't think Chris has named these. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Could have that line rack could have been one of Chris's. Of course, he's got a pretty good thrower. The only trouble with this thrower, of course, he's down a movement point, but he kept him on because he had the plus strength. He's got accurate, block, dodge, and sure hands. Movement 5, but very leveled up, so I imagine he's staying around. But I think this is for actually throwing the ball. Obviously, this is the better thrower because he's got accurate. He got a double for strong arm, meaning you make those bigger passes. If he gets an edge up on this guy, we're talking Callum levels of getting decent throwers going. So if he gets a edge up, yeah, it means he just can dominate a passing game, unless he's playing Nurgle. Catcher, edge up on a catcher. So his catchers don't look massively leveled up, so they've probably taken some attrition. But edge 5 catcher, I mean, that's going to give him a few options. And unleveled up one, blodge, which makes some sense. Nerves of Steel, I imagine something like block was going to be next. I mean, okay, so for this one, he could now go, I'd go wrestle, leap, ball sacker territory for this one. You can leap into the cages quite nicely. Don't know what he's thinking, but that's probably the way I would go with it, because he hasn't really got a very developed ball sacker going on. So that's a good candidate for it. I'd go wrestle first for the survivability of it, then go jump up. Have a look after that at the teams that are in. If there's hardly any sure hands, take strip ball. If there's loads of sure hands, then think about something else. Although strip ball, even if they're a ball carrier, they don't always have the dedicated ball carriers. You got to get it to them. I leveled blodge. It's pretty standard. Nerves of Steel, and I think he was probably aiming to take something like block, but he got the move up. Went for the move up. Movement 9. Oh, yes. Sorry, my alarm going off. Movement 9. You could go sidestep to help with the one turns, and sprint, or sprint and whatever, sidestep. But some people are going to say, oh, you don't really need sidestep, but it's like, it makes the pushing on the line of scrimmage so much easier if you do take it. And it's not a bad skill to have on a movement 9 catcher anyway. So, that's what I would do. I would plan to go, I'll maybe go sprint sure feet, because you might get another movement up in the process. Then sidestep won't be necessary, because then you have a natural one turner. You can make one very easily. Double for guard, which, obviously without the strength access, you take it where you can get it. And the lines, again, they're line of scrimmage fodder really, but you can see that they've not been getting completely killed because he's got a couple leveled up. Blodge and tackle. Kick was probably done very early on, but of course they still level up, so you give them other stuff. So blodge and tackle. Yeah, makes some sense. Nothing. And one with wrestle. So 2 of these have to be in the reserves, so I'm not, obviously this one will probably go in the reserves, and I guess he probably makes a decision based on who he's playing with and who needs to be leveled up and things like that. It gets hard to decide who stays in the reserve when they all have skills, because but somebody has to do it. The Republic of Orkeestan, obviously they got into the final last season. It's a superior political system, which Liam would completely agree with. Totally superior to any other political system. How could they not get into the final? That's the question. So we have enough winding Liam up. There's 4 Black Orcs, obviously, Pretty standard progression. They've got all got block. Two others have guard. When these two level up, they might get mighty, but you can see the difference between when they get block, how they just shoot up in star player points. Particularly as they came in neophyte, so the getting the block meant they were hitting a lot of players that didn't have it. Means more people going down, means more casualties, means more star player points. So these guys might get mighty blow. I'm only kind of on the fence of it, where I might go sort of guard, stand firm, and make them more roadblocky, and then rely on the blitzers for more of their killing potential. But I shall see when I get there. I mean, they could go mighty blow now, and then guard and stand, because they're going to get mighty blow eventually. Probably mighty blow tackle, so sort of stand firm, mighty blow, tackle, and then something else from there. They're all going to be pretty much similar, no matter how I do it. And I do have other positions that have guard on it, so maybe not as necessary. We have, so I forgot to name him. They lost to Blitzer last season, who had tackle as well, but he's been replaced now, and he's next. But yeah, no, nothing unusual to see there. Block, tackle, just to deal. There are edge teams around. It's good to have a bit of that. Then we have blodge, and then we have the kill player. He went mighty blow first. Oh yeah, he got a double for that. Then I get that naturally. That might make him one of the ball carriers. Give him sure hands next, and yeah. And then we have Frederick Engels. So he's the kill player with block, tackle, piling on, and then I'll see what he gets when he levels up. That's pretty much all he needs right there. I mean, probably give him guard for when he is still upright. I don't know, if he rolls a double, I'll probably give him dodge or jump up, something like that. The jump up makes me nervous. I know people would say, oh well, you know, for the kill or piling on, you know, you want to jump up to get him back up again. But they roll a 1 and they're still staying lying on the floor, and I don't trust my dice enough to trust that, but we'll see. And he needs a double to get it anyway. Karl Marx is so strength, guard, and guard and strength. That's the main thing. He's strength 4 blitzer with guard, but makes him basically a faster Black Orc now. It's a shame. I gave him guard early on because there were other teams that were getting it, and I just wanted to supplement what was coming out here. But with him having guard means that I can give these mighty blow instead, because I've got some spare guard going on down here for the time being. So I have no idea what I'm going to give him next. I will wait and see when it comes and how to further develop him. I mean, probably just blitz 3 type skills like mighty blow. I mean, I might try and get him closer to being another killer. So we've got a mighty blow, tackle, piling on. But that's a ways away. We'll see. Capitalism doesn't work. Here's a line. He's got a block. Roll a double for guard. We're quite leveled up. Property is theft is obviously out. I think it's just a miss next game. Yep. So no dirty player. Shame. Unite the Proletarians is obviously my strength 4, edge 4. He's not going to last that. Who else am I going to put on the line of scrimmage? I mean, whoever I'm up against. Everybody puts all their best kill players on the line when it's their turn to hit things. I mean, I could do a wall of orcs with black orcs and things like that, but we'll see. But yeah, the lines will end up on the line of scrimmage an awful lot, and he doesn't yet have block or anything, survivability skills, so, and he's been fouled like 1,000 times, so I'm not imagining he's going to be hanging around too much longer. I mean, I'll have to think about it, because putting the Black Orcs on the line is fine. A lot of Orc players do that. You just create a big wall of Orcs. It makes it a bit difficult to hit them, and then I just keep him back build him up as a ball carrier, as a proper dedicated strength 4, edge 4 ball carrier. It's sure hands. Will have to be block next, and then sure hands. I mean, yeah, I'll think about it, and then open the masses. It's similar to the other team where I only got one on my bench, but who do I keep off the pitch? It's a big question I ask myself every game, because they're all useful to have. And Meatbeat have returned. I think Joe played in the Agility League, and he's opted to bring these guys back. 1680, so yep, they're pretty developed now. I mean, these guys are really in with a shot at it. This is not a Nurgle team that needs development. They're there. They're at that turning point where they're actually there now. Except they do have one Nurgle warrior that needs block. I imagine a casualty was had at some point. So strength 5 warrior on his way probably to kill land. With strength of 5, mighty blow. Addy's already got block, so mighty blow, claw. Go for the mighty blow first because it works on everybody, and then claw for later. Unless by the time he's got in his next skill, he could probably get it. He could potentially get leveled up in the next game, maybe the next 2 games. But if you've already played all the Edge teams, or you haven't got many, then you might go claw if you see there's just loads of AV9 teams ahead of you. But generally, I would go mighty blow then claw, because you're not relying on doubles to get the claw. There's a lot of Skaven. People like Skaven and Chaos Dwarves have to take it when they get it, because you get a double. That's the only chance to take it. The next dude is block and mighty blow. The guy under him is block. So once he gets that Nurgle warrior with block, then he's set. I mean, for the warriors, it really is just a case of them having block being the big thing, and having that's to have for the Nurgle team that's ready to go. And then you've got the pests, so he's got his ball carrying one set up. I know, they like the big hands on them. I mean, the extra arms make sense, and that makes sense. Sure, hands make sense, and big hand. I see the logic. I personally would go 2 heads. I'd have gone 2 heads at this point, to give better dodge rolls. But big hand is not terrible. But with the extra arms, of course, I think that affects attempt to pick up, capture, intercept. So you give another one big hands, and a hand off to him. It's fine. It's that's going to come in useful either way. So pest. Does he need a double for dodge? Probably. Yep, you got double, so he's taking dodge. Makes sense. And then 2 heads. I would start thinking wrestle, strip or tackle, all the usual things. He hasn't really got anyone else to put that on. I mean, Leon at one point, he was on the offence, so he had the ball, and he was a bit like, I kind of wish I hadn't have made a ball sacker now. And I'm like, wait till you're on defence. They're a player you use on defence. That's when they come into their own. You've got to have them basically tailing the ball carrier. They should always be in a position that if anything happens, he's the one you can run in and hit the ball carrier with. But he's not there yet. I mean, maybe that is what he's thinking of doing. We shall see. One on the way to being kill. These will be niggles. That's a niggle. That's a minus move. Yeah, again, 2 skills and quite close to his third skill. Probably keep him around. He's got Mighty Blow, so maybe Claw next. It takes a while to get the kill players up and running. If you don't want him, then we need to take him out. You know, you can see so the same with him. We need to take him out as well. Let's try to stop him creating these kill players, but it's easier said than done. That's why we end up having a few of them. They go Claw, piling on Tackle. Takes a while to get there, but he will get there. This one potentially could be another kill player. A lot of people say only take 2 pests or 3 pests. I'm quite partial to the 4 myself. I know there was TV bloat and all of that, but prove me wrong. Create an Urgle team, take 2, only have 2 pest scores, and win the season. That's how you prove people wrong in Bloodstains. And for me to prove my point and be right, then I actually have a created Urgle team that's been sat there for ages. I will enter at one point. We have a Rotter. Somebody else gave Rotters a lot of Claw, and it seemed to work okay. Oh, this might be him. Might be the one I'm thinking of. He's also giving them horns. They're not bad actually. The Rotters in this edition, they've been nerfed in the next edition, but movement 5 and agility 3. I mean, they're basically no worse than this dude, except you have to use a skill to get that. So yeah, we'll see. I imagine we're going to see Mighty Blow and Tackle and things on him coming up, and 2 Rotters on the line. But again, you know, he's going to end up on the line a fair amount, so he has to live through that. We shall see what happens. And Willem's Harganeth Harlequins. And he got into the playoffs with this team. I think he enjoyed playing them, so nobody was surprised when he entered them in. So hopefully he'll do well this season. Block and Dauntless. Willem likes Dauntless. I probably wouldn't have taken Dauntless at this stage on a Witch Elf, but I mean he's probably looking. I mean he took this when he was in the Agility League. I mean it'll be helpful in this season. There's a lot of people who have higher than Strength 3, so it's not a waste. It's definitely going to come in handy, for sure. So you know. As we see how he develops in the future. He'll strength stuff on all elf teams is always a double, so he hasn't got easy access to things like Mighty Blow, but we'll see. We'll see. A Witch Elf. Just having a quick scan, he does have a runner, and he could potentially get rid of this runner and create this Witch Elf to be like the main ball carrier. You know, give it sure hands. And so on. You can allows her to blitz her way out of situations because she has frenzy. Yeah, as long as you set it up properly and you don't frenzy trap yourself. But you might get doubles on stat ups and things. So yeah, that's one option. The other option is keep the runners and you know just create her as a sort of hitting Witch Elf instead. Block, sidestep, plus move, blitz. I imagine the next skill on this one might be dodge. And then yeah, just taking it from there. So I don't know if his blitzers took a bit of a pounding. I can't remember. That might be why these dudes aren't as leveled up. So we got blodge, and then well, he might have gone to buy the Witch Elves first, so it might not be that they took a pounding. It might have just taken him a while to get another Witch Elf. Did he start with a Witch Elf? I can't remember. So he may have bought these, which meant he wasn't buying these. But that's a decision all Dark Elf players need to make. So it's all good. That dude will probably level up in his next game. So this is what I mean. He's actually named all of these. Because it doesn't give you things like the Glance of Death. But these are all law-friendly names. So sometimes it looks like, did he name them? When it comes to these dudes. But he has. He's named all these players. The runner, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really played a lot of Dark Elves. I'll probably put one in eventually. But dump off is when I have experimented with them. I'm like, you got to choose it before you see the results on the dice. So, if he doesn't get hit, then great. If he does get hit, you have to make a decision. Most people basically keep blitzers nearby, and witch elves or whatever nearby, so they have someone to dump off too. And I guess as long as you do that, you're all right. I mean, obviously, even in a loose cage, you can get at least one player next to it. So actually, it makes sense to mark the players that are there to that obviously they're to be dumped off to. So more than one is generally a better strategy. But hey, he did well with them. What do I know? Two assassins, both of which he has given jump up to. I don't know. I never take assassins on a dark elf team. I think generally two would be considered excessive. I mean, he has just come out of an all agility league where two assassins is a lot scarier. I mean, we do have the Skaven and the halflings and the goblins and I said high elves, the Skaven. How could I forget Skaven? So but those two assassins will be good against those. They're just not as scary against Nurgle and Orcs and higher AV players. Well, last time a Dark Elf team went against my Skaven team, he bought an assassin just to go up against my team. I took him out by turn 2. That's another story. And a double for guard. So makes sense. Yep, that's good. Have a check. It's probably that's a fraction. Oh, lose 1 in armor value. Yeah, it's right there. Look, I missed that. That's got to be a sacking. I mean, obviously, he might need some money for the replacement, which he should get by the next game. But that's pointless keeping him around. It's just bloat. And if you can easily get them. He hasn't got anything special. They're Edge 4, so they're easy to level up. And then, see, a lot of these teams are at a point where their benches all have skills. So, again, I don't know what he's going to do in the line of scrimmage. See, with the two assassins means he hasn't got the 3 lines to put there. I mean, he'll get a journeyman lineman to replace him, but I mean, maybe he benches an assassin on offense. Sorry, benches an assassin. Defense is defense. He wants some right. Sorry, doing this quite early in the morning, so maybe he benches one to put the 3 on the line. That's possible. Obviously, he'll have to put everybody on the pitch. No, he won't get a journeyman. It'll just be these 2. So he's going to have to think about that. But anyway, that we shall see what happens there. TV 1,000 halflings. Playing stunties in these with this high TV is great. You don't have to. You got so much more leeway that you don't have to watch your TV as closely as you do when you're starting out. So that's allowing the halflings, have a fairly deep bench. I don't know. You might go for all 16. Some stunty teams do when you're up against 1,500 plus TV teams. He gets half price halfling chefs. So that's grab, I believe. Yeah, grab, and I got double for block. So that's quite a scary tree. And grab's pretty good because he can put you where he wants. Not sure what he'll take. Possibly guard after this. They're not very manoeuvrable. I mean, he's probably hoping for a plus move because once they go down there, they're really nightmarish to get up. We'll see for the second tree. I mean, obviously not at a level up yet. They're quite difficult to level up. And then we got like plus move, sidestep, and sure feet. So I'll be interested to see how the sure feet one develops and what he's got in mind for that. As just anything that looks a bit like, I wonder why I took that one first. It's Callum though. He has a plan, so it'll be interesting to see what the plan is. The rest, obviously, that's if they live. I mean, they have to live. So yeah, Callum's actually pretty good with the halflings. So we might be seeing the first into the stunty. And last but not least, we have the goblin team. I sort of said put in goblins, and again, because of the generally the higher TV of everybody, he doesn't have to really watch the TV, because often you would only take one secret weapon to start with, and not even have much of a bench, and no apothecary. Did Callum take an apothecary? Sorry, at this stage, I don't always check it because you just assume everybody had. Callum's taken one for the halflings. Okay, yeah, it might be because he's got that. And again, you don't have to shave off 50k here, 50k there at this level. Look at all the TV that's in. It's you know pointless. So no level ups. Pretty standard though. 2 trolls, and he's taken all the positionals. So he's got Looney and a Fanatic. They're the 2 important ones. He's got a Pogoer. If you can get certain things on him like Edge Up and stuff like that, the Pogoer could actually be a real menace. Mine keep dying on failed leap rolls. You know, but if you can, not suitable for work. Oh, okay, they're all, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If nobody's watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because there are people that haven't, totally worth watching. It's really, really good. So I understand all these references. The Bombardier. Yeah, I mean, a lot of Goblin players actually don't rate the Bombardier that much, and say if you really want a Bombardier, don't have your own. Get the star player because he's got accurate and stuff. But I like Bombardiers. You can do stuff with them. You know, if you can get them leveled up, you know, yeah, they can come in handy. You can give them. We're still in second edition, not second edition, Blood Bowl 2, so you try to get a double for Hail Mary pass and just sit him on the sideline and use him like a mortar. And then just a load of goblins. So they're the teams. Oh. And here is the schedule for the first week. So, unfortunately, the pins are going up against the Orcs. You know, having said that, I don't underestimate Callum even with halflings. So, as much as we could say, yeah, the Orcs will probably win it, but you know, things can happen. The trees can get good rolls and take out players, and Callum understands how to swarm with the halflings, which is a nightmare. It's just if he gets the attrition, that you know, if you haven't got the halflings to swarm with because they're all out on the injury boxes, then that's how it goes. So that'd be an interesting match. The snobs versus the meat beaters could essentially go either way. The meat beaters aren't. I mean, it's not bad for him. And then snobs aren't a kill team. And as we saw, the beaters don't have huge amounts of mighty blow or tackle and guard, so the snobs could outplay them. So yeah, that could go really. I mean, the snobs should be edging it out because they're higher TV. So, but of course, with Nurgle, he can shut down the passing plays. Grabbed by the Ghoulies against the Harlequins. So, well, at this stage, when you go into the main league, you know you're going to go up against quite high TV teams. But this is not an impossible match for the Dark Elves. Again, I mean, I don't think the Ghoulies had. He has a fair amount of. He has enough tackle that he could put a thorn in the side for the Harlequins. But, I mean, the assassins in this can probably go for the werewolves. I mean, I'm assuming none of you are going to change your players, by the way. I mean, I have to make that assumption, but you never know. People might change it before they go in. It might have one assassin, might, whatever. But if he keeps the two, it threaten the werewolves. So no ghouls on this team. But the whites and the fleshies are obviously AV9. Although we did watch a game where I kept going, the assassin's going for the tree, and eventually he did take out the treeman. So it happens. It's cool. It's a straight armor roll without block dice, so it can be useful. So Liam just has to be very careful not to lose these werewolves to the assassins and things like that. And then goblins versus Skaven. So it could be a good game for the Skaven. Obviously, Goblin, fresh stunty team. If he can get enough casualties on the Goblins to get control of the pitch, then he can get some level ups that he needs on these gut runners. However, we haven't seen Leon playing a stunty team, I don't think, yet. I don't think we've seen him with Goblins yet. So, I mean, Goblins either have awesome games where everything works and you just steamroll the other team, or really dire games where nothing works, everything goes wrong. The Pobber blows himself up and takes out 3 of your players with him. It's all the fun of playing Goblins, but it's always fun. So we will see. So obviously, let's have a quick sort of people up against. So the Meat Beaters get the Halflings next. Willem goes up against the Orcs next. So that should be a fairly evenly matched game. Unless one of us gets destroyed in the game before, that should be pretty evenly matched. Snobbity Snobs, obviously you're going to have TV on everybody. So, but, Roland Rat is one of Rob Top's main teams, so he does know how to use them. So the TV difference isn't as scary. Then we've got the Goblins against the Necro, and again with Goblins it really just comes down to does everything work. You have to use some of the similar things to what the Halflings do, like swarming and stuff like that. We go from there. So we won't go too far ahead. That'll do. And then we have who's Meat Beaters, Dark Elves, Orcs, Snobs, Rats. See, all these teams should be in with a chance. We may or may not do playoffs. I always wonder what to do when it's only 8 teams in, because it's half the league go into a playoff. But I think it's fair enough. That's what we're playing for, is standing. At this stage of the competition, usually it's more about not giving teams a big advantage, but it doesn't matter anymore. Everybody's so high level, and people like playoffs, so we'll probably have playoffs. So, getting to the top 4 is going to be important. The top 4 is probably going to be the Rats. I think will get in. The Snobs should get in. See, they all could get in. It's just like, it's quite a fairly evenly matched competition this round. I know we have 2 stunty teams, but the 2 stunty coaches aren't exactly new coaches, so we might, we could see our first stunty winners. Alright, well, that's season 10. Good luck to everybody. And, even though the rule books used to be ended with "see you on the pitch," apparently I'm not allowed to say that because somebody else happened to say it before I did and try to claim it as his thing, even though it's prevalent throughout Blood Bowl. It's a very commonly used phrase that doesn't really belong to anybody, so I won't say that. I'll emote about it occasionally. But yeah, so I will see you all later.